All right, Theist Brooke, goodness. For those of you who don't know Theist Brooks, congratulations. You have been spared the most insufferable little TikTok freak that I think I've found, but there are a couple of others I can think of that are equally as insufferable. The common denominators between them, all conservative, all incredibly religious, all twist the words of the Bible to suit their political gain. So let's take a look at some of his talking points, see if we can dissect through the bullshit, see if we can rage bait Brooks into making a video about me for his fans to come attack me. Let's see how this works out.
First, slave praying for freedom, or the slave owner asking for a profitable harvest.
All right, let's hear it.
Because if they both believe in the same God, who the hell was God listening to?
But importantly,
Probably not the slave in Brooks's mind. Probably not a person of color. Sorry.
that same God does not respond to every prayer equally.
I'd say that same God doesn't respond at all. Where was he during the Holocaust? Did he have, is it like a deli ticket system? Did he have like a bit of backlog to get through? Is it like Uber Eats where the little thing turns red after a set point and he just discards them? Where is he during the Israel genocide of the Palestinian people? Now, Brooks has touched on Israel-Palestine. He called all Palestinians evil because they're Muslim. So I guess in his head, the God, Jewish God, answered Israel's prayers by making them eradicate the Palestinian people. So yeah, how does God choose who and what to save? No, I work with families, kids, clients. Does he choose not to save the kid with brain cancer, with brain damage caused by a surgeon? God gave that surgeon free will to mess up his surgery to give the kid brain damage? Was that all part of his plan? What if that kid was Palestinian? Then he would deserve to die? Let's see how Brooks twists it.
In this case, we know how God would act because through the Bible we know God's ways. God's way is of justice and redemption. Throughout the Bible, we see the goodness of God's ways. All of you should use Haven to find these things out.
Is this a paid partnership for AI? That's fucking wild. Not to mention, sometimes God's answer is no. He hears all of us, but that doesn't mean all of us get a yes. Right. So a child that's just come out of the womb doesn't have a coherent thought or word. He's unable to say a prayer, dies from pneumonia after being in the ICU, goes to hell. Is that because God didn't hear him? Is that like an oversight error for heaven admin? Should that be brought up in the next Teams meeting then? These bad things keep on happening even when the slaves pray to the same God. Sure, God won't respond to the slave owner, but by not responding to the slave owner, he's ignoring the slaves who want justice. God is all-knowing and wise, meaning he knows what each prayer's outcome. So God not answering a certain prayer might be because it's bad or not yet time. All these conservative freaks have no issue talking on behalf of God. You know, all they have to go by is a Bible, maybe a couple of philosophical texts from the old ages, you know. They have no issue talking on behalf of God as to what God should be like. And we know that through history, God didn't answer the prayers of slaves. They didn't answer is God non-binary, firstly. Secondly, we know from history he did not respond to prayers from slaves, prayers from First Nations people in Australia, in Canada, because they still got genocided, they still got captured. And it was only through violence and time that they were actually freed. And even then, there's systemic racism. So did God hear the prayer of the slave and the slave owner, decide to go with the slave, but then let it cook for 100, 200 years? This is what I mean by people have no issue talking on behalf of God. They twist his words, the words of the Bible, to their own fucking headcanon. It's no different than the freaks on Tumblr making stories about the Dream SMP. Like, that law goes hard. You don't think someone could do it 3,000 years ago and make the Bible created by man for man? Honestly, I've lost track of this video. Is this seriously just an AI God?
I'm fascinated by the answer to this question. Bible warns, you ask and do not receive because you ask wrongly to spin it.
God, please don't give my future kid ball cancer. All right, next.
I got an abortion for no good reason other than I simply was not ready to be a mother at that point.
All right, let's hear it.
2 years later, I have never for a single minute or even a single second regretted my decision.
Far more people who go through with that procedure regret it than those who choose not to.
That's just wrong. There was a recent Australian study, actually. Shout out to the boys. Abortion regret rates. A large-scale Australian study found that approximately 95% of women reported that having an abortion was the right decision even 5 years later. Now, what did Brooks say, real quick?
Let's hear it.
2 years later, I have never for a single minute or even a single second regretted my decision.
Far more people who go through with that procedure regret it than those who choose not to. And for so many people, the experience is actually like this. There's a lot.
So because one person, one freak on TikTok is crying in their car with the tag hippie, whatever the fuck their name was. Just because one person posted a TikTok in the car, Brooks can apply that to women everywhere, which is a problem we see with the Republican Party talking on behalf of now women. All right, to be devil's advocate, negative emotions decrease. Feelings of guilt, sadness, and regret tend to decrease and plateau after the first couple of years following the abortion. The presence of social stigma and lack of social support are associated with more negative emotions after an abortion. So let's say Brooks has a sister. He looks like he would have a romantic interest in her, but I digress. Let's say Brooks has a sister. She gets an abortion after an assault. Brooks tells her, no, you're going to hell. I know, I'm a Bible scholar. You're going to hell. Brooks says that to her. She starts feeling distressed over the abortion because of social stigmas. You have all these assholes standing outside the abortion clinic trying to get people not to go through with it, and then they turn around and say, yeah, see, she regrets it. Like, are you fucking stupid? I mean, Brooks believes in God, so inherently, yes, he's at least trying to do something about it. I mean, his white supremacist videos get the most views, but he's at least trying to be somewhat of a Bible scholar. It just so happens that every time he has a video of his gets a rebuttal from someone, it gets double the views. He doesn't watch it. He doesn't debate it. But sure, we all love your Patreon that 6 people are paying for your articles about the Bible. Good job, Brooks.
A lot of evidence that it actually harms mental health. The evidence makes sense.
Absolutely. It would harm mental health. You know what else would harm mental health? Hypothetically carrying around a rapist's baby. Speaking of which, let me cook for a second.
So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped and she was going to give birth and she would, no, wait. Oh, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her rapist baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby would be delayed.
Fucking crazy, right? You don't think that sort of would mess with someone? Brooks carrying around a rapist baby like Charlie Kirk wants from his daughter. I mean, thank God the daughter doesn't have to grow up around Charlie Kirk. I'll say that much.
Guilt is not the only measure of morality. A lot of factors can influence that. In this case, it makes sense because you're taking the life of an innocent human being in the womb that's yours.
You're not taking a life of anything. It's not innocent because it doesn't have the capacity to be innocent. It is a clump of cells, right? Life starts at conception, rather. You know what else starts at conception? A sourdough starter, right? Life starts at conception, as if that conception isn't just one gooey substance touching another gooey substance and then shit happening on the inside. Like, I'm sure someone watching this has a multi-loaf of bread. Don't throw it out. That's life. I don't know. It's innocent life. Who cares that it's a loaf of bread that you can observe? We apply the same morals to a fetus, a clump of cells that we can't observe. The fetus can't observe us. It doesn't have the capacity to observe anything. Doesn't have the capacity to be innocent. And it's not a human life. It has the capacity to, if the intent was to birth it, but no. It's such a disingenuous talking point. It's not even worth debating these people about. It is so disconnected from reality. As such, it comes from Republicans.